So you think the flood of institutional investors, you think this has to do with the end of you want to touch up on the topic of American exceptionalism?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
yes.
How does that play into?
Because, I mean, American exceptionalism, again, it exists in multiple overlaying spheres.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from science to sort of social justice and so on and so forth. I mean, there's all these amazing things. In terms of financial American exceptionalism, I think the game's over now, because just the multiples that people are willing to accept for earnings now. I mean, the US market has always been more valued. In other words, you know, you have a global company, and it's listed in Frankfurt or London. If you move it to NASDAQ or Dow, it's going to have a higher valuation. It's going to have a higher multiple. Not anymore. I mean, certainly not now. Maybe again in the future. But I think that American exceptionalist premium has gone, and maybe gone for a long time. Might be a long time before it comes back. I mean, that's devastating.
So that would mean,
well, for that premium to exist, and to have defied all of the analysts' predictions for last year, right? Everybody thought that as soon as it was clear that interest rates were going to be higher for longer, that there was going to be some type of recession, and you know, and the market was going to adjust, and it didn't, because that American exceptionalism, that premium, you know, people had confidence in the United States, you know, because of all these sort of overlaying factors that make up what the United States stands for, which is enormous flexibility to respond to crises. Well, now you've got a crisis right at the heart of what America is, right in the heart of the government. You know, so that they've smashed the press.
It's self-inflicted.
It's totally self-inflicted, and I think that it's even if Trump was pushed out of office tomorrow, a lot of those policies now and all of that loss of confidence would continue. I don't think there's a way back very quickly from that.
Why is that? Why couldn't another president reverse the course and then restore that confidence?
He could reverse course, but you're talking about the United States, not talking about one president versus the next. I mean, so when, you know, the American signature is from the United States. It's not Trump or Biden or whoever it is that's signing that. It's the United States. You know, in policy, foreign policy terms. So, you know, a new administration, I mean, even just say Trump, I don't know, Air Force One crashes, right?
Right.
And after the celebrations have sort of died down, you know, we get, oh crap, we've got J.D. Vance. Okay, J.D. Vance and Trump were both on the plane. Well, they collided. Either way, they're gone. And we've either got a new Republican administration or we've got a new Democratic administration. They could attempt to rebuild, but it's America that's split. It's not the bit at the top, right? He's there because he got elected in a landslide. It's America that's broken.
Even landslide, or you see there's a
electorally, it was a landslide. Right? He swept the board. Yeah,
and then it just creates the social cohesion is not there anymore.
Well, I haven't been in the US for a few years, but I mean, every you know, narrator that I talk to, or even yourself when you've been there recently, I mean, you know, I think it's not good enough to sort of say that you're an American. You know, I mean, if you're an American abroad, you know, people are going to say, well, are you a Trump American or not? I think, you know, people are always going to wonder, perhaps if they didn't even ask, you know, what's your position on Trump? So they want to know if you're a Republican or a Democrat, whereas before, you know, you can just say you're an American.
I think I mentioned this before, like, oddly enough, though, most of the Republican supporters that we came in contact with, they're actually more cordial, easy to get along, as opposed to as opposed to Democrats or left-leaning liberals, right?
Coastal, city elitists.
Yeah, so that's the hard part, because at the government level, thought leaders, or not thought leaders, political leaders, you would think that all Americans think that way. Like if you are right-leaning, you're thinking that way. And then it's kind of like your original sin that comes with it. But actually, when you get to know them as a human being, right? They're actually very nice people.
So this is the problem. The complexity is enormous.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, I think it's easy to kind of look at those sort of people that attacked the Capitol building, that are dressed up like morons, that drove their F-350s there, and they're kind of pig farmers from Wisconsin or something, and they just want to, they're white people, and they get very red in the face when they scream. But there's 300 million Americans, right? There's quite a lot of China's going, what? That's 2 cities. But for 300, that's a big number.
Yeah.
And they are all different. I mean, it is a United States.
Yeah.
So Texas isn't the same as New York, right? I mean, everything's different. And everyone hates those liberal elites, really. I mean, they do hate them. I mean, it's just, particularly those kind of California guys, that grew up as hippies and really, really shoved all that ultra liberal agenda down people's throats. All that positive discrimination and gay rights and, sex education in the classroom and all that sort of stuff. You could pick one issue and argue it, but it just went too far. And I think people were absolutely sick of it.
Right.
And Trump comes along and he says, we're not going to put up with that anymore, and we're going to kind of get back to conservative values, and that's very appealing, I think, to just the ordinary guy on the street.
Even as Chinese or even as foreigners, right? You would agree with those conservative values.
A lot of them, I think, I would,
Yeah. So that's the irony right now.
Yeah.
What kind of America are we talking about? Because you can't really say, it's not really just about left and right, is it?
No.
It's not just about skin color, is it? Or
No.
income, right?
Well,
more so in income.
I think income's got much more to do with it than anything else.
Yeah.
College education, certainly.
Class system.
Class is money. Well, there's the Anglo-Saxon class system isn't money.
Extrapolate.
To the same extent.
Extrapolate on that.